It's a double discount review on where I got it figured. Marvel Legends series, Doctor Strange and D'Spayre coming up on where I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
Hey out there, figure fans. Where I got it figured back with another review. This time I am looking at Marvel Legends Doctor Strange, Walmart exclusive, fan channel exclusive, I think, as well, and D'Spayre, who was part of the Rintrah Wave, was a half MCU, half comic wave. I got these figures both at a hilariously significant discount. I got Doctor Strange for $15 from a local shop, Comics, Cards, and Collectibles, when they had their 50% off sale back over the summer, like in August. So yes, I've been sitting on this figure since August. And then a little later, I got the D'Spayre. I paid, I think, $7 for them after I used all of my discounts and half-offs and everything from the giant GameStop clearance. I got D'Spayre for about $7 after I used all of my coupons and half-off clearances and everything from GameStop. So I basically paid, I don't know, $25 after tax for both of these figures. So that's a good deal. I have been long since wanting the Doctor Strange, and I like to get a villain to go along with my heroes. So since D'Spayre was on the market, I decided to grab him. So I'm gonna double review these guys. It's not really a whole lot to D'Spayre. Looks like some hands. And Doctor Strange, of course, will be the main event. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is look at the packaging. Doctor Strange first. All right, so here's Doctor Strange in his package. He's got some extra heads, a couple different hands, the Wand of Watum, an energy effect, and an axe that showed up in the comic a little bit more recently when his mystical powers were lessened, so to speak. Of course, he is wearing the Cloak of Levitation with the Eye of Agamotto. So he's pretty decked out with his normal assortment of tricks. He's got some text on here. Doctor Strange was a brilliant surgeon before an accident ruined his hands. Now he defends our reality from supernatural threats as Earth's Sorcerer Supreme. So there you go. All right, then we'll look at D'Spayre's package. So D'Spayre, one of the Nightmare villains, along with his buddy, frequent partner, Nightmare, immensely powerful, works in the dream realm, and while he's pretty basic figure, he's definitely going to fill that Doctor Strange villain role for me, at least until I find a good Dormammu. And he's got text on the back of his box, of course. The embodiment of the ultimate evil, D'Spayre uses the fear of others to strengthen himself. And yeah, I mean, that is a really succinct way of going about D'Spayre's powers, but it's accurate. So you can see the box is pretty beat up, but you can see his portrait there. Other members of the wave, of which I got none. That's not true. I do have the America Chavez, but one thing you won't see very much of on this channel when it comes to Marvel Legends is MCU figures. And not because I don't like MCU figures. I have the America Chavez, for example, but because I view Marvel Legends as almost two separate collections. If you're collecting MCU and comics, I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. The people who do, you're amazing. You must have, you know, a lot of money. Especially if you're trying to collect anything that's not Marvel Legends, if you're getting all of that. So, for my collecting, I stick with comic book versions. They're kind of what brings you to the dance. Even watching the MCU, I mean, it comes from the comics. So to me, the comic is the source material, and it's the material that I tend to you know, stay with and stays with me. All right, so let's get these guys out of their packages, and we will go at it in turn. All right, so there's D'Spayre and Doctor Strange out of the package. And one of the first things I noticed is that D'Spayre is using the same body as a lot of other figures that I've done reviews on. Like, for example, his body is like the same as Havoc. I believe that's the Bucky Cat mold. And Doctor Strange partially is using the same legs, but he has a new top. You know, all of this is unique. So starting with Doctor Strange, he's got, you know, there are no pins. So there's that. And you know, the sculpt work on his outfit is pretty cool. Very well done. I don't think the cape is meant to be removed. It didn't seem like it was like it wanted to come off or anything, which is fine. Doesn't have to. He still has waist swivel, but his leg articulation is somewhat compromised by the tunic. But other than that, pretty standard Marvel Legends articulation, and probably above average Marvel Legends detail. So he's very, very nicely sculpted. Cape does make him a little bit back heavy, but that's okay. I love the mask. So this is the mask that he wore and in the Defenders. I don't remember why he wore a mask. And of course, this is not a new head. It's actually a Silver Surfer head, painted blue. But the mask that Doctor Strange wore, you know, it literally looked like this in the comic. But they just used the Silver Surfer head, stuck it in the package with them. And then this Doctor Strange, he actually kind of looks like Tony Stark, but he is meditating. So you could theoretically place him in the meditation pose, which I am going to attempt. And the grays are a little in different areas of his head, so that's actually different. I'm not sure why, but yeah, the grays are not in the same area. This is the classic interpretation of Doctor Strange. This is, I mean, it looks like Tony Stark with gray hair. And of course, they do have a similar look. But yeah, either way, it's a nice head sculpt. Portrait is fine. Then you get a fisted hand, better to punch D'Spayre with in the astral realm, and a gripping hand so that he can hold the wand of Watum or the axe of, I don't know what that is. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. Tell me where to find it, what comic book to look up. And then of course he has 2 energy effects. They were actually just sort of overlaying each other in the box. So you take them out. Hey, wow, there's 2. So that's cool. He's got one for each arm, basically. Then there's the axe itself. But in the shape, it looks like the axe he had in a maybe 2020 or 2019 series where magic was like limited in the Marvel universe, and so he had to rely more on artifacts to do his thing. There you go. And then of course the famous wand of Watum, one of Doctor Strange's principal artifacts that aren't already on his person. Nice job there. Then over to D'Spayre, you get the Rintrah leg. Yay. Maybe I can sell it on eBay for $5 or something. And then you get some menacing hands. I think Sabretooth has these hands. With D'Spayre being somewhat ghoulish and there not being too much to him, I'll certainly go ahead and slap one of the hands on him now. To put his cape on, you do have to remove his head to put the cape over his neck, and then you put his head on top there. It does restrict his head movement somewhat, and his arms are restricted a little bit by the cape, but it's all standard stuff. I'm doing reviews of these guys because, hey, I just wanted to finally open them, and the Doctor Strange is really nice. So D'Spayre, cool, nothing, no major frills, nothing to write home about, but not terrible, right? Just average. All right, so if we're gonna have a Doctor Strange where he can do the meditation pose, then we're gonna have to try and do the meditation pose. And it looks like you can pull that off. So of course you could have Doctor Strange with his eyes open and doing that. Take his head off. There we go. And now that I think about it, it looks like this head is like for the version of Doctor Strange when he was using the axe. I have a HeroClix figure of that version of Doctor Strange. And while he still had like the shirt on, he sort of had different pants and maybe had like a utility belt or something, because again, he wasn't as powerful during that time period. So there you go. Meditating Doctor Strange. I don't have a flight stand to hold him up, but it would be easy enough to to hold him up. All right, so we'll take him out of that. Hold on, actually, let me do this. There you go, Doctor Strange meditating. Okay. Yeah, we'll take him out of that. You're only getting one hand to hold the weapon. And he does hold the axe well enough. Of course, he looks a mite silly with his eyes closed. So I'll go ahead and stick and of course, you know, I definitely think of Doctor Strange as somebody who flies a lot, so tend to want to do flying poses. I don't think he was flying when he was using the axe. Now the energy effects don't seem to want to necessarily clip on as all that great. I guess you gotta kind of fidget with it. Oops, I don't want to mess it up, but yeah. The part of his arm where it goes into the sleeve is too big, so it's not going to fit there, and it's a little bit too big to go around his wrist. So kind of a bummer there, but I'm sure all the smart guys out there figured out a way to make it work. For now, I guess that's what it's got to be. All right, final thoughts. Doctor Strange and D'Spayre work well enough for what they do. Doctor Strange, being a Walmart exclusive, is a classic version of Doctor Strange, and honestly, the main event of this review. I'm going to give him a 9. He's a pretty good figure. He has minimal reuse, and he comes with a lot of nice accessories. D'Spayre, I'm going to give a nice patch 7. He's just a regular, standard Marvel Legends figure. No major, nothing really all that major about him, just somebody to stand on the shelf as a villain. And I don't want to minimize him in that regard. I'm just saying there's just not much to him, and there's not really much, honestly, that there needs to be. Maybe they could have gave him some energy effects or something, but there's plenty of energy effects laying around my house that I could just throw on there. Hell, Doctor Strange can barely use these, so maybe, whatever. It's all just magical stuff. So 9 and 7 respectively, and that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I enjoy doing these videos, and I'm very grateful for the audience that I've sort of cultivated. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I do respond to all comments. I've yet to fail to respond to one. I'm nowhere near big enough channel that I can afford to just not pay attention to people. So please, leave a comment. And in the meantime, everybody stay safe out there. For my next review, I'll be doing another Marvel Legends review on another somewhat of a throwback figure that I had been looking for a while, and I basically got him on a discount, much in the same vein as Doctor Strange and D'Spayre. So look out for that. Okay guys, see you on the next video. Peace.